Asana. I am the #1 Asana hater. ClickUp is by far the most S-tier application on this whole list. Welcome back to another episode of trying not to crash out about automation stuff that pretty much no one gives a crap about. Today, we are doing a tier list of softwares that I have used in the last 4.5 years of doing automation and where I would place them on this tier list. Now, this is kind of just based on what's in my head. Some of this is like I like or dislike the platform for certain reasons. Sometimes that's a really great platform, but their API sucks or they're horrible to integrate with, or they don't play nicely with others. So I'll do my best to explain why I'm rating the things the way that I am. But yeah, this is, don't take this to the bank or anything. This is just my personal opinion based on my experience integrating and working with these different apps. So like, let's take a look at what we got here. All right, let's start with Cloud Convert. Now, Cloud Convert, if you've never used Cloud Convert before, it's a software that a lot of automators use, and all it does is convert one file type to another file type. And they can convert, I don't know how they do it. They can like take MP4 video and somehow convert it to a JPEG. Like, they just do it. If you ever need a file type mid automation, so let's say you have like image in Google Drive that's a JPEG and you need it converted into a docx, for example, or a document for Microsoft Word, you can run it through Cloud Convert. So Cloud Convert I pretty much only use the API just for converting document types. It's one of the most useful APIs that I've ever used, and I'm actually going to start this off in the S tier because I don't think I could run my business without Cloud Convert, because I do so much file organization and file moving that if I didn't have Cloud Convert, I'd have to build my own software to do what they do. So Cloud Convert is an absolute S-tier tool. Now, do they have a beautiful UI? No, they don't. Their UI is horribly ugly and really simplistic. I wouldn't call it ugly, it's just really simple. But their API is an automator's dream to use, in my extremely humble opinion. Next up, let's pull in Make.com. Make.com is an automation platform. It's what we call an iPaaS. So that's a integration platform as a service. So that's Workato, Make.com, N8N, Zapier. There's a few other ones out there. I think Salesforce has MuleSoft for their iPaaS, and that's Make's just another one. So I'm gonna put Make between an A and a B, I think. I'll put it in A tier right now. Maybe I'll change my mind later. But the reason that I'm putting Make in A is, one, they expand their product pretty regularly. Like, they just came out with this kind of like canvas product where you can see how different automations like work together on like a canvas, and it's really pretty. I like that they have one particular feature, which is return from a webhook. So if you can basically use one scenario or workflows, what in Make is called a scenario, but you can use a scenario as like a server. So if you want to hit a Make endpoint from another like MCP, or you want to hit a Make endpoint from like a voice agent or something like that and have it return a result that you want, you can pause the webhook response. So you can hit the Make scenario, it waits a couple of minutes, and then it will give you the response based on whatever's in the middle of the start and the finish. So that's one of the reasons that I give Make an A. I don't give it an S because the UI is not terribly user-friendly, and I wish a couple things were different about like their router and their delay feature. But that's, I think A's pretty good. Let's pull in Vista Social. Vista Social can go to hell. They can go straight to hell. The reason I say this is because they hate developers. They hate developers. I guess this program was just like designed for Zapier or something, because they have no public API docs. Or if they do, you gotta like contact their customer service, or maybe I suck at looking for API docs, but like when I go to their website and I look for their API docs, it's garbage. Like if I go right now and I look for Vista Social API docs, like you get like a page that looks like this and no endpoints. I have to contact my customer success manager for details. Do not make me request API documentation. If I'm trying to integrate with your platform and I don't want to use Make, or I don't want to use Zapier, I want to do an HTTP request from somewhere else, I don't want to have to contact my manager, my success man. That's so stupid. Gating your API docs is like super 2008. This is stupid. Vista Social could be a great platform, but they suck for that reason. Because when I want to know something, or I have an error, I get like a weird error back and I don't know what it means, and I want to go look at the API docs, I can't. So Vista Social gets an F- for hating their customers. Actually, you know what? Maybe I'll give it a D, because I do think, not that kind of D, guys, come on. I do think, I don't think they hate their customers. I think they hate their developers, or people that are doing development. So I'm not going to give them the F-, because I feel like F- is more for hates their customers and hates developers. I'll give it a D because it seems like they don't like their developers. Next, we'll pull in Monday.com. Monday.com, I'll give Monday a B. I think Monday is a good company. I think they're really, really behind on AI right now. It seems like every other big platform, Salesforce, ClickUp, a lot of the PM tools out there, the Atlassian product, are really leaning into infusing AI into their platform and using it to be helpful. I haven't seen anything impressive come out of Monday. Their CRM tool, very cool, but it's just not what I would expect out of an enterprise platform like Monday. I think they dropped the ball on native integration, but they're a good platform. They have a nice API. Their API docs are easy to read. They're working with their APIs in health, so I'm going to give it a solid B. Next, we'll pull in Slack. Slack is an interesting one. I have a love-hate relationship with Slack. I'll give Slack a B as well. Everybody in the corporate world knows Slack. We all use it. We're all familiar with the message notification that we get. But the reason I give Slack a B and not an A is because it took me a while to get used to their UI. And a lot of customers that I have, sometimes they're roofers, sometimes they're HVAC guys. A lot of times they're SaaS companies, or they're somebody from a SaaS company, or they have some kind of digital agency of some type. But a lot of times they're not. And so if you've never used Slack before, the channels are very confusing. The workspaces are confusing. You get lost very easily. And when I'm trying to onboard my customers who've never used Slack before, it's really hard. After you get used to it, it works well. But I think the one thing they're missing, there's zero AI context awareness. It's really hard to search chats and find them, at least from my experience. Their API is nice, so that's why I'll give them a B instead of a C. Their API is pretty easy to work with, but that's why I give it a B and not an A. Perplexity, our first AI tool here. I'm going to give Perplexity a C. If you've never used Perplexity before, it's basically, well, it had more use before GPT-4 and 5, honestly, but Perplexity is basically an AI that can search the web in real time, and its forte is giving you results that pull in information from real time. So if you wanted to know about a news event or something that existed on the internet and you wanted like almost a bibliography style source from everything, Perplexity, great for that. It's great at scraping the web, doing a kind of a crude scrape. But the reason I give them a C is because, like, I don't think they've carved out a place in the market. We'll get to GPT and Claude, and I think GPT and Claude both have their fortes, but like Perplexity seems to be getting outpaced by Claude and by GPT, and I just don't know if they have what it takes to keep up. So I'm going to put Perplexity in these. I'd be open to having my mind changed. I really would. I liked Perplexity when GPT-3 Turbo and 3.0 were out because it did web search a lot better. But now that GPT and Claude are catching up, I don't know if it has as much utility. Next, we'll pull in Base 44. So if you've never used Base 44, it is a app builder. So it helps you build apps without using code. I've had limited experience with Base 44, so take that with a grain of salt. I'm gonna give it a D. No, I'll give it a C. I'll give it a C because what is Base 44 trying to be? I think it's trying to be an app builder, but what it actually is like a concept builder. In the experience I've had in using it, I couldn't find the developer console where I could actually look at the code base or like branch anything or see the Git or connect a repository to it. So it was kind of useless for me. I was looking at an app for somebody and I couldn't really dig into it on the call with them because I had no idea where anything it was. It was kind of obfuscated for me. But maybe it's just because I don't know how to use it. Maybe somebody in the comments can tell me I'm an idiot. But my experience with it wasn't super developer friendly. Seems to be very user friendly, but if I can't see what's going on the back end or easily, then obviously I'm not going to like it as much because it's a concepting tool more so than it's a design tool more so than like an app building developer tool. So that's why I give it a C. I think they have awesome marketing. Their UI is pretty, but that's why I'm giving it a C. Next up, we have Claude. Claude, I'm going to give a B. I'm going to give a B to Claude. Here's why. And again, people are going to come for me in the comments. I think their API is extremely limited when compared to its competitors like OpenAI. I think Claude does creative writing and not AI sounding AI better than anybody else. So that's why I give them a B. But I have not been pleased with the speed at which they're progressing. Other people seem to be moving faster, and I'm not particularly happy with their API performance. User friendliness is good, I think, but I'm not particularly stoked about their function calling via the API or things like that. So that's why I will give Claude a B. Very strong B, though. Very strong B. Extremely useful for the user, as a developer, as an API, as an integrator. I don't use Claude a lot because I'm not a large fan of how they've expanded their API. Next, we'll pull in N8N. N8N is tough. I'm not going to rank it. Let me tell you about N8N a little bit. So I think N8N is hyper developer friendly. I think if you're building extremely complex workflows, N8N is great, but it's slow to configure. And in my business, I build automations for people. I show them how to set up automations in their own company, or I build it for them and then I show them how to use it and then I kind of set them loose. If we build something in N8N for a client, there's zero chance they're going to be able to edit it, fix it if it's broken, really do anything with it. It's not very user-friendly in my experience. If you're not already experienced in integrations, experienced in development, it's a bit tough to use. Pricing is good. But for, again, this is just my take. I'm not saying it's a better platform or not a better platform or other platforms. In my experience, in what I use it for, is different than saying it's a better technical platform than another platform. In terms of technical ability, N8N is at the top. You can do more with N8N than almost anything if you have developer chops. They don't have a lot of connectors, and my clients don't like it because they can't use it. So with N8N, the ranking I'm going to give N8N is based on looking at it through the lens of the people I serve, which are people that buy automations from me and that want to learn automations. And for that reason, I'm going to give N8N a C. Don't lose your minds. N8N is a great integration platform. You can do a ton with it. Probably more than the other two that are here. But in my use case for it, I can build automations lightning fast on other platforms that take me much longer in N8N because they make me jump through a bunch of hoops. For my customers, it's not a good fit for them because most of them are beginners to automation and they need basic things done. If you need a Slack reminder, if you need something that uploads something automatically to or from a Google Drive, you need simple client onboarding, this is great. If you need a private, secure development server, or you need this on your own development server, you want to host it locally, N8N is the way to go, but that's just not most people. I don't think it serves most people. And the number one reason that it is in the C category is because I think other people do a bad job of marketing it as this beautiful, easy to play with tool. And you see all these like workflows going viral on LinkedIn, and the vast majority of them are just over complex, have way more information than anyone needs, and just aren't really useful to anybody. So that's why I'm putting it in the C category. It is an S tier development tool, but for what my customers use it for, it's going to be a C. Next up, we have ClickUp. You might already know where I'm going to put this based on my other content. I spend probably anywhere from 20 to 30 hours a week just in ClickUp, in the work that I do implementing it for companies and just in my own company. ClickUp continues to absolutely blow me away with the speed at which they innovate. You will never see a company as big as ClickUp with a $4 billion plus valuation moving like a speedboat. I mean, to put it in comparison, if you watched a cruise ship move like a speedboat in the open ocean, you would be shocked because it's rare to see companies this large move like they do. I've seen the way they operate. I've seen how they ship products. They ship and release products like they're still trying to win their first customer. It's insane. So I can always rely on ClickUp to release product. I know they're not going to fall behind. If another competitor releases an amazing feature that's better or that doesn't exist in ClickUp, it's a matter of days or weeks before ClickUp builds it and ships it into production. So they keep up better with anybody else that I've seen, and they have better integrated AI than not just any other PM tool. They have better integrated AI than any software I have seen to date. And for that reason, I'm going to give it an S. This is an S tier application. ClickUp is by far the most S tier application on this whole list. It's user-friendly. It has integrated AI that anyone can use or not use if you don't want to use AI. And the number one reason for me, man, their API is so easy to work with. It is so easy to use the ClickUp API and to integrate it with other tools. That's why I love it. That's why my customers love it. And they just won't stop shipping product and pissing excellence. So I'm going to put ClickUp in the S tier. Salesforce. Salesforce is definitely going to take the A tier here. The only reason it is not S tier is because of how much work it takes to configure. If you're a company adopting Salesforce, you're going to need a $50,000 to $100,000 budget to configure it or to have it configured for your use case. So I'm definitely impressed with what Salesforce has done with AI. They've acquired a bunch of other companies. I believe they acquired, was it Tableau? But Salesforce is the number one CRM tool in the world. No company, no large multi-billion dollar company that I know of doesn't use Salesforce in some capacity in the CRM world. It's just not even close. Now, the only downside with Salesforce, again, is that it takes so much time and money to configure for a particular business. But if you have the hundreds of thousands of dollars to shell out for Salesforce implementation, Salesforce doesn't even come close to anybody else in terms of how good it is. The only reason it's not in the S tier is because there's such a far gap between the average company that can afford it and the company that can't afford it. So that's the only reason it's not an S tier is because it's not widely available to a lot of people, but great API. Now, if you've noticed, we have both OpenAI and ChatGPT down here in the bottom. Now, I am actually going to give ChatGPT a C. And here's why. GPT as a tool is not bad, but it's not better than Claude when it comes to, in my opinion, written text. And a lot of times it's not as good at Claude when it comes to code. I mean, you have Claude code, which you can actually build locally on your machine. GPT doesn't have that. And ChatGPT, in my opinion, is a different product than the OpenAI API. The image gen on GPT is amazing. Is it better than Midjourney? Absolutely not. Is it better than other image gen tools out there? Not really. ChatGPT is honestly pretty mid when it comes to LLM. It used to be the standard, but now it's pretty mid. Their agents, kind of useless. They take forever to run, and they can't do anything meaningful without you like sitting there and watching it. In my opinion, anything I've given a GPT agent to do, I'm just like, screw it, I'll just do it myself. I go on, open a browser, just do whatever it is like immediately. It's much easier than watching the agent and waiting for it to do what it's supposed to do. Just overall, not that impressed. It's not that I'm not impressed, it's just not better or really worse from any other. If anything, it's slightly worse, but it's not super impressive, especially when it comes to written text. Now, OpenAI, on the other hand, OpenAI is going to go, this is so hard for me to put it between an S and an A tier. And this is going to go A tier. You can't see the logo because it's cut out for whatever reason, but that logo says OpenAI. OpenAI, even though, yes, I know, maybe not technically a different product, but the OpenAI API I do consider a different product than ChatGPT because you don't access your ChatGPT chats through the API. You have the Assistants API, you have vector storing, you can do function calling through your assistants, you can do stream. There's so much that is available to you through the OpenAI API that any other serious platform, be that Salesforce, be that Monday, that has an AI product, 99% that product is built using OpenAI's API because of how robust it is. You can build any AI app using OpenAI's API as your AI engine, okay? So that is why it gets an A. It doesn't get an S because I think it's a little bit difficult for the average person to use. You do have to have some developer chops to be able to use it. GPT can tell you how to use it pretty well too. So maybe an average integrator could do it pretty easily too. But I digress. Their API makes it possible for any person to start an AI company or to build an AI product. And that is why OpenAI's API takes an A tier instead of a C tier like ChatGPT. Because you can't build a product with ChatGPT, but you can build an AI product with the OpenAI API. So I think that's a really important distinction. Microsoft Teams is getting a D. I don't think I need to spend a lot of time on this. It sucks. It's enterprise level secure, whatever Microsoft says about Teams. It sucks. No one uses it. Everybody hates using it. They're the laughing stock of communication application software platforms, whatever the hell you want to call it. Literally no one likes Teams. I know a guy at Microsoft that has to use Teams and he hates using Teams. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. We all know Teams sucks. They get a D because they seem to not really care about their customers and the platform is just garbage. So that's that. Let's go Zapier next. I'm going to get so much hate for this. I know I'm going to get so much hate for this. Zapier is either an S tier or an A tier. I'll give Zapier an S tier. Here's why I put Zapier in an S tier over Make or n8n. I think Zapier can take someone who knows nothing about automation and nothing about development and put them in a position where they can do really advanced things that they would have never been able to do. And more than anything else, one of the metrics, I call it the move the needle metric, that I use for the customers that I'm working with or for myself is how fast can we move the needle a significant amount, like in a meaningful way. And Zapier gets us there really quick, mostly because they have more like integrations than any other platform, but you can deploy so fast. I can have someone on the phone telling me, I need an automation that when a client is ready to onboard, we send them an email, we create a Google Drive, and we put it in the CRM. I can have that built in 10 minutes or less on the call with them and sell it and deliver it to them on the sales call. I can't do that with almost any other platform. Not because they're not good, it just takes a little longer to set the other ones up and then ship them into production. I think Zapier cares about its customers probably more than any other company I've seen. If you follow Wade, who's the CEO of LinkedIn, or you follow anybody else that works at LinkedIn, they love their customers and they also love their employees. The people that work at Zapier love working at Zapier, at least from what I've seen and in my experience. They like working there, they take care of each other, and they really care about their customers more than almost any other platform that I've seen, at least as far as automation platforms go. So Zapier is in the S tier because anybody can move the needle with it. Almost anybody can have success with it the first time using it. They really, really care about their customers. And if you want to go from problem to solution as quick as possible, Zapier is going to get there. Now, maybe you build something in Zapier and it needs to be more complex and you go into N8N or you go to make.com to finish it. But I think Zapier has tremendous value and belongs in the S tier because it can get anybody to where they're looking to go relatively fast, even if you have no developer experience at all. Now let's look at Replit. Replit is going to the A tier. Replit's going to the A tier. Here's why. They ship updates a lot. They shipped agents before most other people had app builders. I think it's developer friendly. It's relatively easy to migrate from something like Replit to AWS or Replit to Fly.io. If you have an application you want to push to production or you want to push it to thousands or hundreds of thousands of users, you can build a really solid POC on Replit and move it to a cloud hosting platform that is a lot more robust than Replit. I love Replit because I think their agent is awesome. I think the Replit agent's sick. I think that they have SSH with Cursor, meaning you can use Cursor with Replit. So you can have Cursor building inside of Replit, which is amazing. And it's super developer friendly. So if I have a client that wants to change something on one of their websites or in their app, they can go into Replit and change some things with the agent. Or if you have a developer that wants to change something, they can very easily access the code base and change something. The secrets are very easy to use, and they have their own on-platform authorization. So I think Replit is absolutely an A tier. I haven't put any app builders in S tier in this list because I just don't think any app builder that I've seen out of the box belongs in the S tier because they're building so fast and this industry is moving so fast. I'm hesitant to put anything in the S tier that allows regular people to ship product into the universe that they are not 100% sure is secure or works. And I think most of the platforms give people a false sense of security that what they're building is like secure and they can just hit deploy and everything's gonna be fine. So that's the only reason it's not in an S and none of the app builders are an S. Last but not least is Asana. And Asana is going straight to F-. Asana. I am the number one Asana hater. No one hates Asana more than I do. So let's talk about this for a minute. I'm gonna get in close for this one. So why do I hate Asana so much? Why am I the number one Asana hater? They hate their customers. They have had so many requests over the last 5 or 6 years for basic ass features that every other platform has. Every other platform, be it Monday, be it Jira, be it ClickUp, you can roll calendars from multiple lists up into a main calendar. So if I have 3 calendar views on 3 separate lists, I should be able to look at a master calendar that combines all those calendars. Can you do that in Asana? Nope. You know what else you can't do in Asana that you can do virtually anywhere else? You can link 2 tasks together. You think you can link tasks together in Asana? Again, buddy, you don't get to link tasks, you dirty little peasant. You can't link tasks in Asana. Why the hell would I use a project management platform where I can't say, oh, here's task A, here's task B. They have some kind of relationship that maybe I only understand or that I need someone else to understand, but I don't have any way of putting these 2 tasks, linking them at all, besides a dependency, which is stupid because sometimes I want to link tasks together that don't necessarily have a dependency. They just are related. This is stupid. The folks at Asana are not serious people. They have no AI advancements or improvements or anything that they're using to make AI a better platform. They outsource all of their automation features, almost all of them, to third-party vendors. They don't have anything in-house. And their API docs are absolute garbage. I don't know who is running product at Asana, but they need to be fired by someone who cares about their customers. They are in the F tier because they are a large, I believe, publicly traded company that seems to have no interest in using AI or improving their product at all. And they don't seem to give a shit about what their customers think or want out of their platform. They don't care. They don't care what their customers want. They don't care about making improvements. They don't care about shipping new product. They are the cruise ship that is moving very slowly like a cruise ship and doesn't really care if people get there on time. You're on the cruise ship, you get what you get, right? That's Asana. You can pay enterprise money for Asana and get a bunch of underdeveloped features and underdeveloped AI, or you can use something like ClickUp that cares about their customers, that's constantly shipping new updates, that's constantly trying to improve and win over their customers, even if they already have. Or you can use Asana, a company that you can't link tasks together, a project management company that works in tasks. All project management softwares, their currency is tasks. I am the number one Asana hater. I always will be, probably, because they hate their customers. They have a garbage product and they refuse to improve it. So that's all that's on my list today. If you want me to make another tiered list, or you think I left something off this one, I guess I could redo the video if I left a bunch of stuff off. This is just the ones that came into my head as platforms I integrate with all the time. Asana, I will sometimes turn down customers if they're using Asana, because I hate integrating with them so much, because they suck to integrate with and their features are so sparse. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know in the comments if you want to see another video like this, and I will see you on the next video where I complain about something else. Bye.